This is the A Game, Austin Jordan, and you're watching Hashtag Truth with
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hashtag Truth. Today, we have the one, the only, the voice of 3 Count Pro Wrestling, Mr. Matty G. But before we talk to him, I've got to get a few things out of the way. First of all, we've got a sponsor for the show. Let me quickly do this. Griffin Painting and More. If you want your house painted, or if you're looking for anything to be power washed, they do a lot of other things. Get a hold of Roy and Donna, 864-327-2840. Griffin Painting and More. They will make your house look great. Also, this Thursday night, a new show, the Thursday Night Slapdown with Chuck and Scott. Be looking for that. It's not a wrestling show. It's a show about everything and anything. We'll see you Thursday night. Mr. 3 Count Pro Wrestling, how are you doing, Matty?
I'm really, really good, Scott. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I've got to say, first of all, I didn't introduce you properly, man, because I have to tell you, and this is the honest to God's truth, there were 3 people that basically I looked up to and formed Hashtag Truth after. You happen to be one of them, and 2 others are YouTubers. But man, I watched the Sunday Spotlight one day, and the only thing that went through my head was, man, I want to be just like him when I grow up. And Hashtag Truth was born, man.
I tell you, Scott, you know how to make a man feel good, brother. I appreciate that word, but you are you're rocking on a whole different level right now.
I try, man. I try, but it's awesome. I love watching your Sunday Spotlight, man. You get in good, really good with the wrestlers, man, and your top 10 is better than anything I've ever seen. I love when you get into your top 10. I mean, you don't hold nothing back.
Well, you can't. I mean, listen, these guys, they're big, they're bad. They make a career out of getting in the ring and beating on each other. So there's no need for me to hold nothing back on them. They tough.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
I
I don't know if I could tell people like, Boomer Payne or Jackson Sane or somebody like that they're just not good enough to be number 1. I tried it a couple of times. I'm not going to lie. I tried it with EWF, but I got, man, they ribbed me big time.
For the record, Scott, there is absolutely nothing negative to say about Jackson Sane, and therefore I would never say anything negative about Jackson Sane. Just for the record, I want to put that out there. He haunts my dreams. I don't need him haunting my real life.
No, all jokes aside, though, Jackson Sane, man, I'm telling you, for his gimmick, when I first saw him at EWF, and of course he's moved on to bigger and better things, 3 Count and everywhere else. Man, I'm telling you, that gimmick, like you said, it's getting scarier and scarier. I mean, when you see little kids like totally backing up away from the ring when he takes his mask off, you know you've got something going on.
Yeah, there's nobody better right now as far as in our circle here. I don't think there's anybody better at what he does. It's simply amazing, and just how he's embraced that, and how much he cares about making that absolutely perfect. I don't think there's really anything higher anybody can say about Jax. It's just how much that he cares and goes at it, and what kind of wrestler that he's become.
Right? He's whew. I'm just telling you, I saw some of his promos and they still scare me to this day. I mean, it is really something. But there's a lot of great things going on at 3 Count, man. We've got to talk about this. We really do. Last show, you brought in Austin Jordan on a fire truck. How did you guys pull that one off, man? Because
How,
I was amazed.
how did we pull that off? All right, so let's just be upfront. Guess whose idea it was? It was Austin Jordan's idea.
Austin Jordan.
Right? Like, who wouldn't want to do that? So this was, he's like, listen, I'm coming in at the final bell. And that's how Eric Bowman worded it. I don't know if Eric Bowman meant to word it that way,
Right.
or maybe Eric Bowman had an oh crap moment the moment he saw the video. But I mean, that's what he said. And so Austin Jordan, he took that, and so that was the big thing. We text all week, and it's like, I had the sense that he was going to show up and be there, and he kind of played it down. And then, like, the day of, we're talking Clemson football and Braves and Cubs baseball and all that stuff we normally talk about. And he's just like, I'm coming tonight. And so, it's like,
Oh, by the way, I'm just going to show up in a big fire truck.
Right.
All the lights, wailing, the whole 9 yards, just to let you know.
Yeah. So we had no idea about that until a little bit beforehand. And that's how he pulled up. And the timing was beautiful. And the pop was the biggest thing I've ever seen in Carolina wrestling by far.
Right. I mean, I have to tell you though. I have to tell you this. He was at EWF the same night, so he double showed that night. And when I saw your guys' promo, it kind of broke my heart, because you know how I'm an Austin Jordan fan. It kind of broke my heart, because when he got in his truck during your promo, and he was like, after the last bell, after the last bell. Oh, after the last bell. And I was like, oh, no, you just told me that you're going to lose at EWF and you're going to shoot down there for the last bell. But it couldn't have worked out any better, man. I'm happy. I'm really happy, man.
Well, I think as great as that night was, I do think just speaking as BFF right now, I do think Austin Jordan would have much rather finished the night at EWF with his hand held up in victory.
Hey, he's got that 3-count pro wrestling title to go back after too. I mean, both times, last night and the last show he was actually wrestling in, he got hornswoggled out of both of them belts, man. So Austin's got some chips on his shoulders, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Ace Armstrong better watch it. That's all I got to say.
I don't think if I'm a betting man, I'm not putting much on Ace Armstrong for the title match. It is coming. We do know Eric Bowman said that it will be coming. Not sure quite yet when. But also, I think our commissioner Eric Bowman handled the whole fire truck thing fairly well. I did get to see his face, so everybody's watching the fire truck, and I'm thinking like, all right, where's Eric?
The journalist in you was like, okay, where's the head man? Because I got to see his face.
And he was, he was a little bit paler than he normally is, but I thought he handled it incredibly well.
Right? No doubt. Yeah. I bet he was loving every minute of it too. I bet he was a fan, just like all of us were watching that. I didn't get to see it live. I wish I would have, but I got to see the video of it that night, and I was just amazed, man. I was like, wow. I mean, talk about a white knight riding in on a horse, man. I mean, that was just, he had everybody's attention. That was pretty cool.
No, it was good work all around there.
Oh, no joke. Now, speaking of things that are different, man, you had a promo earlier a couple months ago, or was it last month, I think, where you were sitting down in a lawyer's office. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So this was right at the beginning of Ace and Austin's rivalry kind of coming to the forefront. I'll be honest, like I felt this coming for a while. I felt it coming for a while. You could just see there was some tension. The that teacher student thing, we all know how that has to turn out one day, right? It has to go that way. And
no joke.
and so you kind of saw that brewing, whether it be just some kind of shortness at training, just kind of not up for hanging around after the shows like you once did. But anyway, saw that coming. And so I wanted this interview with Ace, and I went to the address. I thought I did the right thing, and
right. Well, you're somebody when the lawyer sits down and specifically says, "Matty G, we want to talk to you. You're gonna take this information back to 3 Count, and this is the way it's gonna happen." I was sitting back going, "Wow,
yeah,
all right."
That guy was he was a little intense. Not gonna lie to you, it was a little intense.
It's always fun, man. So how long have you been with 3 Count? Have you been with it since the beginning, or how did you come to be with 3 Count?
Absolutely not. So in all honesty, Austin Jordan is one of my childhood best friends. We met in middle school, and really our friendship, and another guy named Zach, our friendship is pretty much solely based around kind of being nerds. In middle school, and all the kids are doing wild, crazy, and fun stuff. We still brought our baseball cards to school to trade, and
right.
And that kind of formed that bond, and so when Austin decided, I'm going to do this, and of course he went through the progression, which I think is very, very healthy. I don't see that near as much as I did when I first started this. I think it's very, very healthy. And there's probably some people that'll watch this and roll their eyes, and they don't need the progression. But just watching Austin's journey, like he went through that progression. He was a security guard. He was a referee. He went through that progression, and then one day decided, it's time to take off the stripes.
Right.
So really, with Austin being involved in 3 Count, I went to support him. Of course, I met a ton of other workers there, and it's just it's a great locker room to be a part of.
Right.
It's a lot of good young men, a lot of good veterans,
right,
that are really leading in a good and caring way, and I liked it. And so I went as a fan. I was a mark. I think I still am. Really, I mean, that was this call of just let me just go nuts. Let me take.
So how did it come about that okay, you come as a fan, you're marking out for your friend, you're checking it out. How did stuff like Sunday Spotlight? How did you becoming the voice of 3 Count? How did that progression happen?
So basically, Austin did a show in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
He's somewhere kind of far off, and so he's kind of texting me and going through all those kind of questions of what's it like, and the next day he said, hey, there's this they had a girl that worked for him, and basically her whole job throughout the night was she did wrestler interviews, she did social media throughout the whole night. He's like, I think it'd be really cool if 3 Count had something like that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so apparently, I think he was fishing, and I think I was just thinking like he's making small talk. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
But apparently, he pitched that idea to some of the leaders at 3 Count, and they offered that up to me. I was a little worried about time restraints. I'm a pastor. I do have 2 children. I serve a few nights at the hospital as a chaplain. So, I mean, I'm incredibly busy, but, I told them, hey, any nights I'm available, I'd be glad to do that and just see what it's like. And it's really grown. It's expanded my love for what's going on. I get a different scene of it. I see what some of the the young men and women go through, and it does. It gives me a better love for this product. And
we get to see we're kind of special because we're in between the fan and being kind of part of the show itself, and we get to see the progression of these wrestlers, and it's awesome, man. I enjoy it just like you do, man. But I like just like you. I want to be a fan more than I do, the the guy on here doing this with the cameras and the microphones. I could take this away and still be happy. I'll be honest.
Yeah, same here. But it's just kind of I feel like my role, my call is, how do we tell a weekly story when doing a weekly show is not feasible? Right. How do we, once the fans get to 3 count, how can we have them already excited without having to, before every match?
Right.
My goal is for when things to happen, that there's that immediate pop. These boys are working and these women are working so dadgum hard. Let me take some of that pressure off them. So when things happen, the fans know we've set that up. We've told that story. And there's no guesswork anymore of who's the good guy, the bad guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's fun for us because we feel like part of the show. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I feel like part of EWF when I do it. I'm not going to lie to anybody any other show. If I do a preview or a review for another show, I feel like part of the show, because like you said, we're telling the story. We're keeping people involved. Hopefully, the line that they use, we're putting butts in seats. You know what I'm saying? And, it's great. And it's something that, unless you're doing it, you don't really realize how much of an impact you have. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm grateful for it every day. I wake up, thanking God every day for giving me this platform and giving me the mind to have this platform. And like I said, watching people like you do it and watching, some other people that do it, and we all help each other. That's what wrestling should be. That's what indies wrestling should be. We all bring each other up. I'm learning. I learn from you. You learn from everybody. I mean, we all learn and we all grow from this. And in the process, we become better people ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
That's the hope.
Right? So I have to touch on this. Everybody out there knows I'm a diehard Brewers fan. Everybody out there who knows you knows you're a diehard Cub fan. We touched on this a little bit before we came on air.
We did. I need to vent.
You need to vent, and I need to celebrate because your Cubs are going. Your Cubs are all but sitting at home watching the playoffs this year.
The Cubs. So really and truly, it's the last game of the season. And the Cubs isn't this awful? The Cubs can lose and St. Louis clinch the division, or the Cubs can win
and we have a chance of winning the division.
Can we just not play the game?
You know what's even sadder, Matty G?
What's that?
The last 3 days I've become a Cubs fan.
Well, you had to, no doubt. I've been in that spot before. Yeah.
I had to root for the Cubs. I'm still rooting for the Cubs. I hope they win tonight because if the Cubs win and we win, we'll be tied and we'll have to play a tiebreaker with St. Louis for the division. So we're all going to be sitting there tonight. The Brewers just started their game a few minutes ago. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll all have all the Brewers fans will have their eyes on that Cub game tonight. You know that. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be something. So tell me, I have to ask you this, man. Where did the bow ties come in, man? Because you rock a bow tie.
Where do they come in? In a big old drawer in my dresser of about 50.
Did you? So you've always wore bow ties.
I have always worn bow ties. So I think pretty much everybody knows. I'm a pastor. My 9 to 5 That's how, I make my millions of dollars. And so some of pastors in my tradition wear the clergy collars, the little white collars that go in. And there was something about that. I had one and wore one, and it just wasn't me. It'd be like if I tried to put on an unbookable shirt. Like
I hear you there. Now I understand.
Yeah, and so then I wore the long ties, and see, I'm kind of short, and I got a little gut, and that just the long ties didn't. So I went with bow ties, and I just get so many compliments. So you know what? I'll be a bow tie.
Hey, I'm not even joking, man. I'm not even joking when I say it. You rock them bow ties, man. That was the first thing when we came to 3 Count for the first time, man. And I walked in, and I saw you. Now I've seen pictures, but I'm talking about in person. I was like, man, he does rock that bow tie. Look at that. You can see him from across the room. He looks good. It's always straight. I said, man.
And not everybody appreciates this, but those who appreciate it, it's important for me to say that I do usually have a fresh pair of Nikes, some Jordans that match the bow tie. That's very important for me. Very important.
So you've even got shoes and other accessories that match the bow ties.
I am a huge sneakerhead. Absolutely. Yeah.
That is awesome, dude. I love it. I could never do that. I'm just not that coordinated, man. I'm lucky if I have matching socks on in the morning. I'm just telling you.
No, but it's been a fun little look, and that was kind of the thing too when they approached me about doing this. I guess I'm like, so. Oh, cool. I didn't even stop and think, like, I'm going to be in the ring. I've never gotten in the ring before. And so, like, the day of the show, I'm like, hey, should I go get in the ring? It's like, yes, that's fine. I got really nervous about that. I'm like, all right, so we're going to get in, this way or this way. And, of course, they're trying to get in my head and telling me how, certain genders get in the ring one way, and I wasn't doing it that way. So I had to fix that.
I love talking up EWF. I love everybody there, their family, but I can't get in the ring, bro. I can't do it. I'm too big. And I'm not like Big Country where I'm agile. No, right. Man. I've gotten in the ring one time and it looked so bad. My wife was like, never again, man. Don't embarrass me like that ever again.
That's funny. Side note, I do remember the first time I saw Big Country in person. And that was an amazing experience. And I remember thinking to myself, there's no way that someone his size should be able to do the thing he does. His super kick is just, it blows me away. Yeah, I'm a big mark for Big Country. I think that
right. I was the same way. I tell this story all the time. The first time I went to eat, the first time, we'll get to Susie in a second, but the first time I came to EWF and I saw Big Country, my first thought, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't lie to him. I was like, oh great, here's a big guy. He's barely gonna move. He's gonna throw some punches. He's gonna do what a typical big guy his size does. And like you said, when he threw a super kick, when he put his leg up this high to choke somebody out in the corner, when he did a rolling kick and his sit down power bomb, I mean my eyes, I fell in love. That was the first T-shirt I ever bought. Of the 18 T-shirts that I own as a wrestling fan, he was the very first one I bought. All size matters.
Very cool. Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. See, that's the time of hanging out. Yeah. No, I love what he does and love who he is.
Right, without a doubt, he is just and a good guy. I mean, even outside the ring, gentleman to everybody. I mean, if you don't know something and you ask him, he'll explain it to you. That's what I loved about Big Country, man. If I had a question about the wrestling business or somebody in particular, he'll come right out and tell you, how he feels or what he thinks or what have you. And he's not mean about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So it is. So let me ask you, Matty G, how long have you been in the wrestling business or around the wrestling business?
So I ask Austin Jordan all the time, "Am I in the wrestling business?" Maybe. I don't. So I guess my first show that I helped him out, maybe their January or February show. I think maybe their January show was the first one I did and helped him out. So we've been doing it pretty much all of 2019. And of course, they took Three Count took a pretty big break in 2018. And so we've been at it pretty heavy in 19.
No, I've been following Three Count. I've been to one show. I've been trying to get back. But the one thing about Indies wrestling, the only thing I do not like about Indies wrestling is when there are 5 shows around me. All 5 shows are good, and all 5 shows are booked on the same Saturday night. That drives me crazy.
That is tough. I think doing what I do for Three Count kind of alleviates some of that pressure and the pain that comes with it of where to go and who to support. And
but then I have a show where I want to interview the whole lot, and it's like, you got to come here. No, you got to come here. No, you got to come here. And on weekends like that, I got to break 4, organizations' hearts. And it's like, right. First come, first serve. That's the only way I know how to do it. Whoever asks me first, that's where I got to go.
Right. And, hey, 2 guys like us have that problem. Could you imagine what some of the wrestlers have to deal with? And
without a doubt.
Is definitely the gentleman way of doing it.
Right. That's how I do it in everything I do, and it's the same thing when people want to come on and be interviewed on my show. I have no problem interviewing anybody who's a wrestler, a ref, anything that has to do with the business, commentators, announcers, however you want to call yourself.
Yeah.
And I've woke up one day and seriously had 8 messages sitting on my Facebook. Can I be on your show? Can I be on your show?
I bet. Well, and I think that's one of the cool things, about you. I kind of got married to Three Count. I'm there with those guys. I attend other shows. I serve no purpose for them except making some noise. But I think one of the cool things about you hanging out with lots of different promotions, there's a lot of promotions and a lot of wrestlers that I did not know about until seeing them on your show, and so I think that's a good thing too. And I appreciate you a ton for that. I think it'd be very easy for you to say, no, you have to be this tall.
Right. That's the fan in me. That's the fan in me, though. I want to know who all the wrestlers are. I don't just want to know the big guys. I want to know who the littlest guy is who's just coming out of wrestling school. That's just getting his start. I want everybody to know who that guy is too.
Absolutely, and that's a big blessing to them. And so Scott Larson, you're the man for that.
I don't take any of the credit. They're doing all the work. It's easy for me to sit on this side of the microphone and ask questions. I mean, that's not hard at all. Especially, and I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the wrestlers that come on here, I could easily write a script of about 6 questions that are asked on every one of my shows. If you watch one of my shows, you basically have seen every one of my shows except for a few questions here and there. Or if they're a really talkative wrestler and they get into some stories, that's when I really have fun on the show. Because then I can keep asking questions and it flows. But I've had the occasional wrestler that, it was like pulling teeth. You get 2-word answers every question, and, you got to keep it going.
Yeah, fully understand, brother. Fully understand.
But it is fun either way. It's fun. It's a challenge, and I wouldn't have it any other way, because that just goes to show how different every wrestler is. And if I can give them just a smidgen of, learning how to do a microphone or getting in front of people and not being shy about talking in front of people, I feel I've done my part, and that's basically what hashtag truth is all about for me, anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a great classroom.
Yeah, it's a classroom for me because I get to learn all these guys. I'm like you. You told me, well, I didn't know half these guys before they came on your show. Neither did I.
Right on. Yeah, yeah.
I've got Chuck Winchester who does my I call him my producer. He does a lot of my bookings. I said, hey Chuck, I don't know too many people in the wrestling business. I'm gonna be honest. He's like, dude, let me do that for you. He called me a week later or started, getting a hold of me on Messenger a week later. I'm booked through March of next year. So
Good.
it's like, wow, man, that's amazing. And it's just weird when I walk into a wrestling venue now, and I'm pretty sure you've had this too, where people, went from saying, "Hey, Matty," to, "Sir, can I do this?" or when you get the sirs, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
You don't get too many sirs at 5'2", but
Oh, I bet, dude, when they see the bow tie and they see the classy looking guy and everybody's gathered around, I'm pretty sure you've got a sir or two.
We've got a few, yeah.
No doubt, man. Well, I'm going to tell you what, we're going to get into a section. I explained this to you before, and let me put it up on the screen. Oh, what are you doing? Susie's got a question. What is this about? Oh, turn it around. Okay, it's on the other side. I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong side. Susie wants to know, who is your favorite wrestler in the indies business?
No, in his business, 3 count.
Oh, I'm sorry, in 3 count. Oh, she's going to put you on the spot.
So,
who is your favorite wrestler in 3 count?
All right, so I'm incredibly partial. Austin Jordan. I mean, that's when you see your childhood best friend living out their dream. There's not much better than that. So he's definitely favorite. But I also feel like that's a cheating answer. And Susie, you deserve more than a cheating answer. So
he said Austin Jordan, but you deserve a better answer. But that's his best friend, so that's the answer you're gonna get.
Wrong answer. Should be JJ.
Oh, she said wrong. Susie said wrong answer. It's supposed to be Jake Jacobs.
I will say this. So he's young. He's incredibly young. But I don't know if I have a single negative word to say about Jacob Armachain.
Armachain, yes.
I don't love some of his antics. He has aligned himself with some people that I wish he would drop. But just as far as work ethic, his move set, and just some of that stuff that he just gets. I tell you what,
right?
He's incredibly young, so you can go either way. But
now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The boy is like 100 pounds soaking wet.
Roughly, yes.
But I've seen him fight some of the biggest wrestlers, and I'm talking about give them a match.
Yes, yeah. No, he does. There's a heart and a will there. And of course, his mom used to wrestle, so he's new, kind of, but then in the same way he's grown up with it. I really like him. That may be my that's my favorite bad guy right now. And of course, Bebop. Like Bebop's just—he's phenomenal to me. I like Bebop a lot.
There's a lot of great wrestlers that wrestle there. I mean, good guys and bad guys. I'm not going to lie to you at all. 3 count has a great roster right now. And I know people are going to boo me for saying this, but Ace Armstrong, he's legit. He's legit. I don't like his tactics, but he's legit.
He is, absolutely.
You have PJ Ellis coming through there. PJ's, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can't say about PJ that isn't good.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, he's just a big beast.
No, he's wonderful, and he's kind of he's going through a little evolution right now, of kind of wanting to. All right, I've been the big guy to just kind of bully my way through matches, and he's kind of working on some more like finesse type stuff, and I think that would be interesting. I don't know. I like it. But I think that could be something to take him to that next level of.
Now I'm going to tell you the most interesting thing I've ever seen at 3 count, and this is a storyline that I want to see play out to the end. And you know, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. When he got wrapped upside the head with a belt from his girlfriend now.
Have you seen the chair shot yet?
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
So she goes off and joins the evil faction of 3 count.
She is in Hearts and Minds. Yeah.
Hearts and Minds. There you go. Hearts and Minds. And you got to explain something to me, man. What's up with the goblets?
You know, so the goblet thing is something that, oh goodness, I think I picked it up in like February. It was just weird, right? It was kind of like this thread that connected them, but yet they were at each other's throats. And you know, I had all kind of conspiracy theories, right? Because that's what guys like you and me do. But you know, I think looking back on it, it was it was the Scottish Prince Joshua Gillespie's way of kind of like
say his name again. Say it again.
Joshua O'Gillespie, the Scottish Prince.
O'Gillespie. I always I butcher that name every time I try to say it.
Don't do that to his face.
No. Never do that. Never do that.
But no, I think that was his way of like, I'm gonna put this in your face and still pull off the biggest heist in 3 count. I mean, he really, he has stolen the top tier young wrestlers. I'm gonna say brainwashed. I mean, maybe I'm sure he would have some more proper term for it. But,
well, I have to say they are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they got the female, they've got the tag team, and then they've got the big time champ right in the middle of it all. So they've got it all covered.
They do, and there's a lot of skill there. So that's a little. I'm a little worried. How does PJ Ellis overcome this? And does something like this kind of break him this young in his career? And then also, who's next? If I do the math, it's my buddy.
Right.
Yeah, it's some tough days for 3 count. Might be ahead.
Yeah, but it's always going to be fun to watch, though, ain't it?
No doubt.
It's always fun to see how it plays out. You have a question, man. Dax wants to know where you are from.
What's up, Dax? So I'm from Greenville. I used to think that I lived in the gated subdivision, but it turns out I was one gated out. So up here, right behind Memorial Hospital in Greenville, South Carolina.
And I missed this one a while ago, so I'm going to put it up. Who is your favorite fan?
Tate. Tate is my favorite fan. So Tate is the most jovial young man that God has ever made. And God has just put the most wonderful spirit inside of Tate. And Randy is my second favorite fan because Randy does a great job of making sure that Tate is at all of our shows. And so those two combined, and Jordan Payne's up there. Those three, I love those three, and have loved kind of like seeing them at other shows, and
right?
being able to kind of sit with them a little bit and talk and hang out. And
I don't know if you know this, but Jordan Payne is starting his own podcast.
He is, yes, he is.
And I am happy. I've told him many times I'll be happy to help him out in any way possible.
Yeah.
He actually interviewed Austin Jordan the other night, and I thought it was a pretty good interview. I thought it was really good.
I've not seen that, but it's in my grasp. I'm gonna watch that soon.
You got to, man. It's pretty good.
Proud that he did that and kind of stepped out on that faith of, hey, something I want to do and making it happen. He's a solid guy.
He is. He is. And he's going to get better at what he does, man. It was a great first interview, and I wish him all the luck in this field because we know how hard it can be at times.
No doubt, no doubt. I think the biggest advice, and Scott, you might give me an amen. I think the biggest advice is
Yes.
just know who you do this for. We're
take a deep breath, know who you do this for, and always be yourself, man. Always be yourself.
There's no big paycheck. We're doing this as a fans and a love for what's going on. And, you know, if there comes and I felt that pressure with Sunday Spotlight of like, oh, it's Sunday, I got to get this done. Now, of course, if you follow the Sunday Spotlight, you're like, Matty G, you're slack. You should get fired. But no, just kind of having that freedom of knowing like, hey, I've got an early service, a late service. Sister so-and-so's got their brother that's about to pass away. Got 2 kids. Like, you know what? We might get you on Thursday.
Right. Well, I'm at home. Unfortunately, because of my medical conditions, I don't work anymore. But being an at-home dad, and my wife does 99% of the work. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Anybody who knows us knows she's my rock. Without her, I'm gonna fall apart. Right? Yeah. Connie's my rock. But, you know, I used to be that way. I used to be, you know, when I was doing this show, you know, 2 hours before that, I was like, oh, man, I got to get this ready. I got to get this. I got to do this. I got to do. Oh, my gosh. I've got 4 other things I got to do for the family. I got to do. And it was a big rush. But like you said, once I learned to take a deep breath and prioritize some things, everything started falling into place, man. And it's been a blast ever since. I mean, without a doubt.
And don't retake a 15-minute video for a 15 nanosecond mistake.
Oh, when I first started doing recording before I came on here live, now I can't do it live anymore, and that hurts because I make mistakes. I forget names. I'm very forgetful sometimes, and you can't stop live, so you just got to giggle your way out of it or talk your way out of it. But back when I was doing my recorded videos, and I still do them, but when I was, you know, full-time recording, every little noise that happened in the house, man, I was a perfectionist. Every little noise that happened in the house, if it was heard on the video, got to do it over again. It didn't matter if I had already did a 45-minute long promo for somebody. If there was one little noise in it, oh man, I got to do this all over again.
Oh man, well, we're gonna die way too early doing that.
Right? Well, I learned it. I learned eventually, you know, you can let the little flaws. People enjoy it more when there are little teeny flaws because then they can start pointing them out to you. And people do enjoy doing that to you. I know you know, hey, you forgot this, or hey, you mispronounced this, or you know.
I have a very long text message thread from Ace Armstrong as proof of that. Hi, Ace.
That's right, without a doubt. But I gotta tell you, man, I gotta tell you, and this is not a lie. You can ask my wife behind me. When you mentioned my name and hashtag truth for the first time on Sunday Spotlight, I geeked out, man. I was like, yeah! He said my name on Sunday Spotlight. It was so awesome, dude.
The favor so nice for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. I was like, man, I can't believe he just. And then you showed a part of my video up on your screen one time, and I was like, I made it. I made it. But it's so much fun doing stuff like this, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. I've got some great friendships out of this, and there's going to be more. And the relationships you get out of this in wrestling and that, it is a brotherhood. It is. It really is. And I know that if anything's wrong with me, I'm telling you, if I put anything on Facebook, any kind of sideways, I get 50 messages now, man. What's wrong? What can I do for you? What's going on? Calm down. I was just, having a little fit. It's all good. I'm all right. It's good, But yeah, it's great, and I'm just gonna keep doing it as long as God lets me. I'm just gonna put it that way. But man, we were supposed to do name drop like 15 minutes ago, but we're gonna do it now. We're gonna get to it now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's put the little thing up here so everybody knows what we're going into. It's name drop. I'm going to give you 5 names in the wrestling business that you know, and you tell me good, bad, faux, friend. Give me a story, anything you want to say about them. The first name is actually a tag team, the Sons of Steel.
So the Sons of Steel, they're kind of the elders, the experienced vets of the locker room. And so when I first started doing this, this is the right word. I was intimidated by them. So there were guys that I kind of came in with, Jake Jacobs, PJ Ellis. We kind of worked together good. There was guys I already knew, Ace, Austin, worked together good. There was the new guys that think that I'm way more than I really am, and you kind of boss them around, and they're super great. Then there was the Sons of Steel, and so Boomer one day he was like, I just did some kind of interview backstage, and Boomer just looked at him and was like, "Never put us over," and just walked off. And I'm like, what am I going to say? Because I'm scared of you guys.
Right.
I was like, all right, that sounds good. I would take that as an invite. Oh, we're gonna do a promo next show with them. So, the next show we're doing this promo, and I think I'm pretty good at that. I think I am. Until I'm doing it with them, and I've got one on one side and I've got one on the other side, and they legit leave me speechless. And we just had to cut. And so Sons of Steel, absolutely the best at what they do.
Oh yeah.
They bring they bring something incredibly special to any show they're a part of. Bring something incredibly special to the locker room.
They definitely bring that Pittsburgh vibe down here. I'll say that.
They do.
That hard working mentality.
Yes, absolutely. And so I know there's that question that everybody asks. Who's your favorite member of the Unbookables, and why is it Boomer?
Why is it Boomer Payne?
Yeah.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
For tons of reasons that I can probably not even share on #truth.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Name number 2, and he is one of us. I've got to ask. I know you know him. Heath Mulliken.
This is my idol. Are you kidding me? That is Heath Mulliken, and in all sincerity, like we call people idol, and it's kind of like tongue in cheek, or kind of joking,
right?
Like, no, Heath Mulliken is somebody I sincerely look up to. Heath Mulliken is one of the most gracious, gentle spirits I've ever met. I love Heath.
Right. And when he's doing what we do, when he's interviewing people, when he's calling a match, when he's doing, you just gotta soak it all in. That's the best way I can put it. You just soak it all in.
I've done commentary with him a couple times. I think he's trying to hey, let's see if he can do this or not. And I do. I just catch myself kind of quiet, and I'm like, after one of the matches, like, Heath, I didn't hardly say anything. And this is the kind of guy Heath is. He's like, that's my fault. That's my fault. I didn't give you enough space to talk. And I'm like, no, it's because I was a bumbling idiot, and you're awesome. But he took it like, oh, I didn't give you enough space. It's like, Heath, you're just the nicest human in the world.
Right.
Heath is a pastor as well.
Yes.
So when he and I get together, wrestling's kind of the last thing that we talk about.
Right.
And I kind of like it that way.
It's always great to have a mentor who's doing the same thing but not doing the same thing, and he's doing a lot of the same things as you. There's all kinds of things that make you two alike in certain ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Heath has been incredibly supportive on some of the creative side and storytelling stuff that I'm trying to kind help craft and do. He's been real supportive of that, and he'll send messages, and so yeah, Heath is number.
And what I love is he is a plethora. That's my big word for the day. He is a plethora of knowledge, whether it be the Bible or whether it be wrestling, indies wrestling in our area. Either
Right.
one, you come and talk to him, he will let you know. Or if he doesn't know, he will show you where to find the answer.
Yeah. Love Heath.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Okay, we talked about the guy that's at number 3 on my list, and we're going to have you talk about him again, Mr. Jax Insane.
Just absolutely wonderful. Like, scares the daylights out of me, for real. Like, this is kayfabe and shoot. I'm scared of him both ways. But he's wonderful at what he does. I'll be honest. If you are running a show in October and you are centering around some kind of Halloween theme, and
he's your man,
Jax Insane, you lose a little bit of credibility with me. Now if you were a bigger promotion and you didn't need to exploit Halloween, I understand. But if you chose to go with a Halloween theme and you did not call Jax,
you're missing out on the best thing, right?
You're missing out.
And
So to tell you this, and this is creepy to me. We have a young man that comes to all of our shows. I think this is what they call a shoot. He's still in elementary school. He comes to all of our shows. He is obsessed with Jax. Like, loves Jax. Like, his goal in life is to find out, like, well, what's Jax like in real life? And I'm like, I can't convince the kid that, like, no, that's him. You're seeing him.
You're seeing him.
Yeah, this is weird all the time.
Wow.
But he pulls out of his phone, got a new picture of Jax as his wallpaper. Just loves him.
That is great. That is great.
Name, but it trips me out.
That just tickles me when I hear stories like that, because he is now I'm going to say this, and this is all I'll say about him outside of his character. Sweetest man you'll ever know. I mean,
I will not say that. That dude's a creep.
Okay, all right. We all have our own opinions, but okay. It's all good.
You can't unsee it, Scott.
Right? You can't see the gray. You can't unsee the gray eye, the pulling of the hair. Right? It haunts you. I get it.
So our show in December, it was like a 6-man scramble, and so Jax was one of the first people out. And so Jax is in the corner
doing his sitting down thing on the ring rope.
And so I'm thinking to myself, like, Jax is going to have to sit there for 5 people's full entrance. And in this time, he pulls his hair out, and he has a little thatch of his hair, a big thatch actually, in his palm. And he just plays with it the whole time.
The whole 10 minutes that they're waiting on all these entrances and everything.
And then I realized, so the more he does this, and it's not like he's being a spotlight hog. It's not like he's out here like, look at me. And because, hey, some wrestlers will do that now.
Oh, yeah.
Not that Jax is doing that. He's simply being Jax. And I realized about halfway through the entrance that roughly about half the crowd has picked up on what Jax is doing, and there's just this eerie watching him. And so, like, at that moment, like, I felt like I just wanted to go get an MVP trophy and just go.
Right.
It's just simply amazing at what he does.
What about his laugh?
No.
Sinister laugh, man.
Yeah.
Cackle, laugh, whatever you want to call it. It's like you said, man. Yeah, I don't want to remember it. All right, number 4 on the list, your best friend and my favorite wrestler, Austin Jordan.
Austin Jordan is Austin Jordan is the best thing in Carolina, Georgia wrestling that has been doing it for the amount of time he has been doing it. Anybody better than him, it's because they've got an extra 10 years. There's nobody. There's nobody. And I think, in all honesty, we talked about Jax inside the ring, outside the ring, creepy. And I think the same is for Austin Jordan. I think one of the reasons why Austin Jordan has been successful, why fans gravitate to him, is because that's who he is. That's exactly who he is. Great example. Before we went live, you saw the cute little 4-year-old that came and said hey to you. She is very much a mommy and daddy girl. When Austin Jordan comes to the house, that's who she goes dance with.
Gone, right?
Austin, right? And so, but that's who he is. He's just always, before wrestling, there's just always been a wonderful spirit there, a great people person, and the fans see that.
And in wrestling, he's a professional's professional. I told that to him. He is a professional's professional. No matter what the people want him to do in the ring, he'll do it. He loves wrestling that much.
And he's so dadgum competitive. I mean, I remember like in our college days when I guess we probably should have been out partying and picking up girls, we would play putt-putt instead. And like, I would be honest with you, like we would have full out like heated arguments at putt-putt because one of us was talking too much smack. I mean, so he is.
I would love to see some home videos of you two, growing up and doing some of this stuff. I would just sit there for hours just cracking up and having a good time, man.
I mean, he's just so competitive. We putt-putt. We parking lot football was our big thing. We would, go out and do on the nights. But whatever it was that we did, it wasn't just like the boys hanging out. It was the Super Bowl or it was the Masters.
Right.
But how great has that translated now into wrestling? Yeah, it's perfect for him.
And it doesn't hurt that he does one of my favorite moves. It's called sliced bread. I love that move. That is just one of the great. He did it twice last night to Eric Anton, and unfortunately he lost. But he nailed him with it.
Right. No, it's he's getting a lot better. He's athletic, so he kind of had a leg up. But you can just tell, I mean, this past year of how much better the strikes. He does the sick kick now, the sliced bread now. Just all the things he does, just so crisp. And that's another one. Listen, it's my best friend. I'm biased. Whatever.
Right. Well, he's not my complete best friend, but I've loved him since day one.
Right.
And I walked up to him the first day he came into EWF and I saw him wrestling. I walked over and I said, man, if these guys don't put a belt around your waist, there's something wrong with these people. And we've been friends ever since. He looked at me and goes, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm serious.
Right. Well, that's the thing. If you're not booking Austin Jordan, if you've never booked him, like honestly, I would just say for every show out there, just book him once. Right.
Right.
That's all it will take. Honestly, I really believe that. That's all it will take.
Yes.
You're gonna find out everything you need to know about him right there, and you're gonna see that that's somebody that, hey, you might not have him every single show. I get that, but like that's somebody that you're gonna want to be a part of what you're doing.
Well, if you don't jerk him up now, let me tell you, if you don't book him when he's available, somebody else will. I'm just gonna be honest with you. In the Carolinas, man, it's getting out where you say the name Austin Jordan, people aren't going to turn around and go, who? They know who he is.
Right. No,
he's held enough hardware in the last couple of months that make any other wrestler jealous, and I'm serious with a heart attack.
Yeah.
So, all right, name number 5, the last name on the list, the man we all love to hate, Mr. Ace Armstrong.
I got nothing halfway good to say about him right now. He does his thing in the ring. He's good. But yeah, there's literally no integrity there. and he knows it, and he is sickly and weirdly proud of it. And that's it.
So
So we'll
so
turn
so
that.
so
We'll
what do
turn
you
name
think?
number 5
What do you think
into
of
a
his
5.
getup with the blue jacket and all that? What do you think of that?
It gives me flashbacks of my 4th grade PE teacher. I didn't like him either.
I wasn't going there, but that yes, I agree.
No, nothing good to say about Ace at all.
Oh my
No.
gosh. And I do this to the people that I really like. Name number 6, Matty G.
Oh, like my own self?
Yes. What do you think
Wow.
about yourself?
What do you think about myself? I tell you what, brother. As a pastor, and just kind of going through the trenches with people that you grow to love, there's a whole lot of heaviness within that call, and there are some really tough days, and there are and there are some
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I couldn't help it.
hi Ace, I sense jealousy. No, you don't, bud.
But please continue about yourself. I
Yeah,
was
no,
loving that.
just the seriously, the heaviness. I'm in a community. It's an old mill village, and it's changing, and so a lot of the things that they used to have, they no longer do. Just this past month, the only grocery store that this town had that served fresh produce is closed. Um, it's tough, it's heavy, and there's lots of self-medicating. There's lots of other things that people have turned to, and I don't want to be the pastor that hides behind a pulpit. I want to do life with you. I want to walk in the hard times, and as much as will be allowed. So it's heavy, and so I do struggle with some things of I wish I coulda, I shoulda, could have done that differently. So it's tough and heavy, and so I am grateful, very grateful, that God allows Reverend Greer to also be Matty G.
Right.
Matty G is it's my Sabbath. It's my little piece of rest. It's a little it's something that we can play and know that all is well within the world. Something we can have some good community with some good friends, and be a part of something a little bit different. And every once in a while, Reverend Greer gets to sneak into Matty G and talk about the beautiful things God is doing in this world with some wrestlers.
Yes, that is important to a lot of us. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's an honor. I don't get into the trenches as deep as you do. I'm just honored they let me do the prayer at EWF and things like that. And if somebody comes up to me, I'm not scared to tell them that my Lord and Savior. If it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be alive. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell. I can sit here and talk for hours about my hardships through my life, especially physical. But every morning I wake up, I still have a breath in me. And like you said, I get to do what I love to do. I get to come on here and interview wrestlers and have a good time and talk to a lot of great people and get to know them. And I'm learning that, there's a whole, in wrestling, there's a whole, they bring everything with them. A wrestler brings everything with them to the table. Most of the wrestlers you see in the ring, it's and it's a pun that a lot of them use, but it's true. A lot of these wrestlers are themselves just modified by 100. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So they have their problems just like you do. They work every day and they have problems in their family. They have health issues. They work hard and things like that. And sometimes us as fans, we forget that. And I'm one of them that forgets it a lot because I rant a lot. I understand. I do.
Right.
But I have a good enough people that are around me that'll slow me down and say, "Hey, Scott, look, I understand your rant, I get it, but you got to understand this," and they'll explain to me the other side, and it's a good thing, man. I love it, and I love that. God has put somebody like you in the area where you're at, and you see all the things that are happening, and you can put Jesus' name out there. I appreciate you for that,
Yeah.
and I know it's all God's work, but I'm glad that you have taken it upon yourself to do it, because there's some people, the voice of God will talk to them, and they'll ignore it completely.
Right on. Yeah. Hey, I did that for a long time too. So, yeah.
I'm not gonna joke. There's some times where I do. I completely shut them out, and I shouldn't, and I repent for it, and but it does. I'm not gonna use it as a crutch, but it does say in the Bible we sin daily. I shouldn't say that the way I'm saying it, but you understand what I'm saying. Nobody's perfect, is what I'm saying.
Right.
But I God made me the way I am, and I love it. I love him in the position he put me in, and the family that he surrounded me with, and I thank him every morning when I get up, when I can breathe in and breathe out, and I talk to him every day, and I'm not scared to say it in front of anybody. And serious as a heart attack. If you don't want to hear it, you're talking to the wrong person.
It's got to come out, don't it?
It does. It does.
Too big to stay inside, no doubt.
That's it, without a doubt. Matty, I appreciated this, man. I've been wanting to get you on. We've had a few ups and downs trying to get you on, a couple of cancellations, things flip-flopping on my show. But, man, like I said at the beginning, you are one of the 3 people that got me to wanting to do this, man. So I really appreciate everything that you do for the wrestling, everything you do for 3 Count. And my wife wants to say hello.
Hi, dear.
She loves you too. And man,
She is awesome.
She said Matty G is awesome.
Thank you.
And I want you one day to teach me how to tie a bow tie, brother. Seriously.
All right, it sounds good. So it's pretty tough. You've got to shut one eye and crinkle one ear and flare one nostril, and you'll get it done.
I don't know if I can do all that, man.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
When's the next show for 3 Count? We got to put that out there.
Oh heavens! Aren't I awful? I don't know. Ace Armstrong, chime in with how much I suck at this.
Ace Armstrong, if you're still out there in the next 2 minutes, please put up on here, and I'll put up on the screen when the next 3 Count Pro Wrestling.
I greatly apologize. So I know it's November. I know that there's
we've narrowed it down to the month. We just need the day, sir.
Not a show in October. As trendy as it would be to have a I love you so much, Ace. I love it. Apparently, Scott, it's November 16th. I didn't know if you knew that or not. But it is November 16th, and we look forward to it.
Without a doubt, man. I am going to be there on November 16th. I wasn't able to make the last show, but I did make a promise I will be at the next one. So November 16th, #Truth will be at 3 Count Pro Wrestling.
That sounds like a great plan. Great plan. I do know that there has been, Eric Bowman has stated that Austin Jordan's getting a rematch. And getting a title shot. So the hope is that will go down November 16th.
Oh, well, it looks like I'm wearing my Austin Jordan shirt to Greenville.
A big night. We will also see if Bebop can break his. Are you ready for this? He has a 7-match losing streak. Which there's just. Scott, you gotta stop laughing at that. There is so much talent there. He is on a 7-match losing streak, and that's really I don't know. I hate making that a story because like it's not funny to him. I mean,
he's too talented to be on a 7-match losing streak.
Well, and that's the thing. I get to look in and it's not necessarily him. Like it's the matches he's been put in. You know, he was in a triple threat with Lucky Ali, Jackson Sane. He had a match with Ace Armstrong. There's been a couple tag team
Well,
matches.
Matty G, you got to pull some strings and get him just a little easier match. You know what I'm saying? Pull those strings you got there.
Wants, right? I mean, you know good and well that's not what Bebop wants. I mean, he's wanting to break this thing, and but it has. I feel like it's one of those things that the pressure just keeps tightening, and yeah. So we got to see if we can't get that.
I say we invite Big Country there. What better way to snap a seven match losing streak than to beat Big Country?
Than to beat Big Country? I don't know. I think I could think of another big guy who's a little more balder. That might be a cool way to snap a streak. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Actually, I would love to say, you know, no matter who we put him in the ring with, that time is coming. He is so.
Or maybe a certain person who is the leader of a certain faction who carries a certain belt.
I would support that. I don't know if we give a 7-match loser in a row a title shot. But
you know, maybe a shot for a number one contender.
I would like that. I could support that. Hashtag I'm not a booker though.
Just for all us couch. Uh-oh.
Look at me.
Gotta love Matty G, man. I love it.
All right, that may be a sign it's time to wrap it up.
For a couch booker like myself, it sounded like a good idea.
I love the idea of it. Yeah, I make my little when I have trouble sleeping at night, I make my little dream matches and think of one day in the what ifs.
Oh wow, Joshua says Ace Armstrong does not deserve to hold the 3-count title. I agree with that.
'Tis the smartest thing we've seen on the screen all day, Josh.
Ace says Matty G has dropped the ball and his phone.
I'm so glad that Ace Armstrong has tuned in today, Scott.
He's made me laugh. You know why he makes me laugh? Because nothing he says is true. Nothing he says is true. That he makes me laugh like Boomer Payne of the Unbookables.
It's tough. Now you say that, you know, there was a time in 3-count where Boomer and Ace and Bryce were a pretty thick little unit there.
And 3-count made it through.
3-count made it through. Yeah, they wreaked some havoc on many of matches. That was when I was just a fan, but not a fan of that, of course.
I know he's not talking about us.
Maybe he's talking about that faction I just stated.
That could be. Yes. There you go. I like that a lot better. Now, I don't agree with this hashtag, but
well, I tell you what. So I not either. However, looking at some of the things that Ace Armstrong has done recently, it does have me a little nervous of what the future of 3-count looks like. We see what he's been willing to do. Does he keep that up?
Well, there are. I'll put it in the best way I know how to put it. There are a lot of good guys at 3-count that won't let it get out of control. How's that?
I certainly hope so.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a list of guys there that will not let his head get much bigger than it already is. Well, Matty G, I appreciated you stopping by, man. You can come back to Hashtag Truth anytime you want. This was a blast. Again, thank you for everything you do for not only 3-count, but wrestling and for Jesus himself. Keep doing it, man. I love you, and we will definitely see you soon.
Hey, love you too, Scott, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, man. We will see you November 16th.
That's right.
At 3-count Pro Wrestling. All right, guys. You guys have a great night. And that is the Hashtag Truth.